Hello and welcome back to Sea Red UK, where quite simply the Chicago Bulls sing. This podcast is part of the Fans First Sports Network, so wherever you're listening, rate, review, subscribe, helps us out and ensures you don't miss another episode. And if you're lucky enough to be watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the bell, give us a thumbs up and leave some comments down below. And if you're not watching on YouTube, you may as well just head on over and do it anyway. I'm Matt, and as usual, joined by Neil. How are we doing, Neil?
I'm okay. I'm not too bad. We have something to talk about, as in the last Bulls game. So always good.
Yeah, that's it's not what you were saying to me before, but we'll
No,
go
I'm
with
trying
it.
to be positive. I'm trying to be positive.
So yeah, obviously since our last episode, we played Charlotte Hornets last night,
Mm-hmm.
and it was ugly.
It was.
I know that a lot of people are hyped about it because we've gone 3 in a row, blah blah blah. But it was a bad Hornets team, and it was a horrible performance to watch from Bulls as well. I thought, Hornets didn't have LaMelo Ball, Mark
Yeah.
Williams, and we still made it hard work. And we seem to have gone away from the last two games, the way we played in them last two games against Bucks and Pelicans. I kind of went back a little bit to the Bulls we've got used to seeing. That's how it felt to me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously, as gone for spot on, we did get the 111-100 win, and a win's a win. I'll take it. It's a little bit of positivity.
Yeah.
And
We're streaking. We're still streaking.
exactly. So yeah, I mean, what was your sort of general take on it? Ugly win, good win?
Well, look, like you say, any win at the moment is a good win. But yeah, it was an ugly win. It was a game of streaks and runs. Where, like I think I said to you when we were watching the game, um, it never felt like we'd put it to bed. It never felt like it was fully contained. It always felt like there was a possibility that we could let it fall apart, as we've done so many times in the past. And I just wondered, did they kind of maybe play down to the Hornets a little bit in this game? Did they kind of go into this game thinking, yeah, well, it's only the Hornets. They don't have LaMelo. They don't have Williams. We've got this. And the complacency kind of showed on the floor.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, we've got a habit of doing that anyway, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
And we let
Yeah.
these sort of young teams or young players end up getting a little bit of confidence and.
Yeah.
But as it was Gordon Hayward that was cooking us, especially in the first half.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know. I mean, I think it was just a bad performance from both teams. Just led
Mm-hmm.
to a horrible looking game. Like you said, it was a game of runs and sort of, you know, like what do we get? A 16-point lead at one point that went whittled down. Then I think
Mm-hmm.
it was 19 points that got
Yeah, it was
whittled down.
19. Yeah.
Um, and I mean, it was generally a bad shooting night for Bulls,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a shocking shooting night from Hornets, which is pretty much why we ended up with a win, I think. Um, I mean, yeah, again, we saw early Julian Phillips minutes and
Yeah.
Dalen Terry minutes. They actually checked in ahead of Javon Carter. So it seems as if Billy still doesn't know what he's doing with his rotations at times. I don't know if there was a bit of a niggly injury to Carter, but he wasn't on the injury report.
No, it wasn't.
Um, and in the first half, first quarter was pretty close, wasn't it? And it was about
Mm-hmm.
3 or 4 points. Then we sort of went out into that big lead in the second, let them back into it, raced into a big lead again, and yeah, I don't know. I didn't enjoy that game as much as I've enjoyed the previous two.
Yeah.
It was just scrappy. We tend to seem to go back to ISO Demar quite a bit as well. I thought,
Yeah.
which is possibly why I wasn't enjoying it. I mean, when you look at some of the sort of the stats for the teams, kind of explains why it was like the way it was pretty much. In terms of 3-pointers, Hornets hit 10 of 37, we hit 12 of 25. Assists, they got 25, we got 23. Free throws, now this, makes a change for Bulls to come out on top of this one. They hit 12 of 12, we hit 23 of 29. We completely out rebounded them, but 57-42. But obviously, they didn't have their starting centre, Mark Williams, so you kind of expect Vooch to cook a little bit, and obviously Drummond when he comes in didn't really go that way though. I didn't think. And in terms of field goals, they hit 39 of 90. We hit 38 of 90. So generally pretty close, apart from that free throw discrepancy in our favour for once. And the fact that DeMar hit 12 of 14 on his own, when Hornets only hit 12 all game, kind of, to me, that shows the way the game was going with that ISO DeMar. Obviously, not as many assists coming from Bulls either. There just didn't seem to be that same amount of ball movement, and
no,
it just seemed a bit, I don't know, like I say, a little bit back to what we've come to expect.
And do you know what I found was kind of quite frustrating when we were watching the game was when the ball was beginning to swing around the outside and they were playing like they had done in the previous two games, because it did come, like I say, it did come in streaks and runs. And when they were moving the ball around like that, that's when they took the lead each time.
Yeah.
And then they had that cushion, and the next thing is they started going back to more isolation plays, more stagnant movement on offense, and then they would lose the lead, and the lead would start to get smaller and smaller, and then they'd kind of get back. Oh, hang on a minute, let's go back to what works. The last two games, the reason why they were enjoyable was because they did it for the full 48 minutes, more or less.
Yeah.
This game, they didn't, and they made tough work of it as a result. When are they going to really click and learn that kind of play for the full first whistle to the last whistle is what works with this team? And when they realize that enough, and maybe they'll take that from when they watch the video and then watch it back, they'll realize, okay, look, this was what was working. This was where it stops working. How do we fix this and make it more consistent, bring more continuity to the play?
Just what we need.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, a big thing in that second quarter was we got up by 16 and then went nearly 6 minutes at the end without hitting a field goal.
Just over 6 minutes. Crazy.
And it was just, yeah. And then obviously we built it back up in the third and it come back down again. And I mean, there were some highlights from it, I guess you could call it. I mean, one thing I did notice was, I don't know if it's because the UC was that quiet or what, but you could really hear Caruso out there shouting on the defensive end.
You could
telling Vooch to keep his hands down or stay still, hands up, sort of thing, or whatever it was. He was shouting to him and actually praising Vooch as well at times. And it wasn't just Vooch; there was other players that you could hear him shouting at as well. And I've never really heard that on the broadcast before, so I don't know why it was different last night.
Because the UC's half empty.
Yeah. Obviously, Kobe breaking the franchise record for the streak of games with three or more 3-pointers. He held the record, didn't he, with Lowry at 8 before the game. Obviously, hit 3 last night and got to 9. So, obviously on the individuals, Kobe did end up with our full of the game. Second in a row for him. I don't think it was his best game.
Nope.
I don't think I mean, we really struggled with sort of picking between the players last night, didn't we?
Yeah,
Because nobody really stood out, but there was a few good performances.
yeah,
Obviously our 4 stars went to, in the end, Kobe at 1, Vooch at 2, Caruso at 3, and Drummond at 4.
yeah.
The Drummond one maybe could have been replaced by DeMar,
Hmm.
but obviously we know what we're getting with Drummond these days, and it was chaos. It was 4 rebounds in one play off his own missed shot, much to the discouragement of a certain somebody, which I'll speak about later on. But yeah, like I say, to me, nobody really stood out. No, there wasn't a clear um like bull of the game basically, and
No.
I think it went to Kobe just purely because he's still doing Kobe things. He's hitting his threes. He's getting the threes up for the most part. He's taking charges. Is just energy. Is just it's basically what we need at the minute, isn't he?
Hmm.
You know, he's
Yeah.
he's like a mini Caruso, but kind of offers a bit more than Caruso as well, especially on the offensive end.
Hmm.
Maybe not as strong defensively, but I mean, is his third in the NBA now on charges taken or something like that,
Yeah, yeah.
leading the team, and it is just not necessarily a good thing, but it's what we want to see from our players. Somebody that actually cares, somebody that wants
Right.
to play for the jersey rather than a paycheck or the name on the back
Balls
of the
written
jersey.
across their chest.
um, yeah, obviously Kobe went for 19 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. It was 3 of 7 from 3, but 6 of 16 like in field goals. So it wasn't his best shooting night, but we got it done.
Yeah. He's becoming that real Swiss Army knife type player, isn't he?
Yeah,
That he gives you a little bit of everything. And that's such a great commodity to have on any team. And we're lucky enough to kind of have two of them in AC and Kobe. So you can kind of plug them in anywhere. Like, okay, Kobe, you're not having a good shooting night. Do some work on defense, and he will. Or Kobe, we need you to distribute the ball to the players that are shooting well, and he'll drive and kick out, or he'll give pocket passes. I mean, his handles have become incredibly better. They've far surpassed what I expected out of Kobe handles wise. Um, and a lot of that is, as we've talked about before, from his work with Johnny Dribble Too Much. But it's really beginning to show. And I think was it you that put up a video of Kobe's handles in the gym, and then the exact same moves on the floor.
yeah.
I
Because
loved it.
I love a workout video, as you know.
Yeah. Well, see, but the whole point of that and why I loved it so much was because it showed this is what happens in the empty gym, but this is how it gets implemented on the NBA floor.
Yeah,
And I loved it. I loved that. I thought it was great. It was a real showing of hard work pays off.
yeah. Because it was obviously from Johnny Dribble Too Much. Anyway,
Mhm.
he was the one that put it together. Obviously, his own clips and stuff like that. And it's like I said, all these people that say, "Well, what's with all the workout videos? I don't want to see him in an empty gym. I want to see him do it on an NBA court." Well, there you go.
Yeah,
That's why they do it. No, it doesn't work for everybody, but there you go.
it's working for Kobe.
Yeah. Obviously DeMar went for 29 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. He was 8 of 20 from the field. Got his standard Devo 3-ball, 1 of 3. And like I say, 12 of 14 from the free throw line. Vooch, 20 points, 12 rebounds. First double in quite a while, I think, isn't it, for Vooch? Since, well, no, he got one. Did he get one against Bucks?
Yeah, I think so.
forget what I said then. 3 assists, and again, 8 of 17 from the field. So not a good shooting night. But he did hit 2 of 3 threes.
Mm-hmm.
And they were needed as well.
Yeah.
So credit Vooch. Now, obviously, in the last episode, I said that P will be the player that dropped off first out of this young core. And I think if we'd have lost last night, he'd be getting a hell of a lot more stick because he broke his own streak. He didn't hit double digits. He only ended up with 8 points. But he got 9 rebounds.
He did.
And
he looked aggressive again last night.
Yeah.
No, he was interested in making cuts and driving to the basket. So, I mean, the rest of it will come in. And once he keeps that mentality, the rest of it will fall together.
Yeah. And I think Ayo dropped off a little bit last night. There's a lot of turnovers from him. But again, the aggressiveness was there. The desire to get out on the fast break was there. And you know what you're getting with Ayo, that heart hustle muscle in his own little way. Do you know what I mean? He's diving on the floor. And so I don't think they particularly had bad performances, but it just weren't as they weren't what we've been used to seeing, and that was the worry that I think we were going to have, especially as we look at next week's schedule, where we're back to facing Bucks, Nuggets, Heat twice. We can't afford for them to have them drop-offs if they're going to be what we're looking for, basically, and we end up going back to ice or DeMar and stuff like that. And that's why in the different chats we're in, I've kind of not been hyped about this win, and I know we've got Spurs in between, like before next week, but if we play like we did last night against Bucks, yeah, we've already beaten them with this current sort of rotation and lineup and stuff. But they're going to be out for revenge.
Of course.
You know that Giannis is just going to run over everybody and elbows fly in and get away with it and get to the line God knows how many times. And Dame's going to be wanting revenge. So they really are going to have to step up. And obviously the first chance they're going to have, again, is against Spurs. They need to get that, dare I say it, that continuity going again. That click, that, if this is how it's going to be now for the foreseeable, it needs to start gaining some proper momentum, doesn't it? It can't be up and down, So I don't know if you've got anything else on it before we say our sort of play of the game.
No, not really. I don't think I've got anything much to add to it. Just pretty much agree with everything you've said there.
Yeah, like I said at the start, a win's a win. It was ugly, but like, what are we now? 9 and 14.
Sounds a little healthier.
Yeah, and if you look at the standings, all right, we've played more games than everybody, but we're not that far off the playing. So I need to ask you, actually. I'll save that. Yeah, so play of the game. Obviously, we like to highlight a certain play.
Yeah.
So what was yours? I already know, but
yeah, I know I've got the one that you already know, but I also thought of something else while we were talking. That's not necessarily a play, but it was a moment of the game that I enjoyed for the wrong reasons and the right reasons. But first of all, my actual play of the game, I love it when P. Will gets a great dunk, and he got a fine dunking in that game. It's which is always nice to see.
2 hands
with him
for
being my
safety.
guy. 2 hands for safety. Yeah, listen, I keep saying it. 2 hands, P. Will. Until you learn to wrap those big ass fingers around the ball properly, we'll take the 2-handed dunks for now. But the other thing that kind of I remembered was I can't remember what it was that triggered it, but Vooch was really upset at one point, and he was just about to walk back to the official to start complaining, and it was a guaranteed tech on the cards that was coming, and AC, and I think it was Kobe, pulled him aside and started talking to him and pulled him away from it. And that's what Vooch needs, because we know he can be hot-headed and we know he can talk himself into trouble. And I loved the way that the team came together to pull him away and pull him back out of it.
On that, didn't Vooch pull Damar away as well? When Damar,
Yeah, actually, you're right. Actually,
he,
yeah,
because he kind of did a bit of a low blow on, was it Richards? I think was running, and then
yeah,
got up to complain to the ref, didn't he? And it was kind of Vooch that kind of got
yeah.
in the way, and then Damar
To
had his little chat anyway. But
be honest, yeah, he did. But it was kind of when he'd simmered down a little bit. But to be honest with you, I can't. I know he got what was it? Uncontested lane
yeah,
foul.
yeah, breakaway foul, whatever it is, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm surprised he didn't get called for a flagrant.
Yeah,
Because to be honest with you, being objective about it, it was a flagrant foul. He reached out and grabbed him around the waist as he was running past him. But
there
anyway,
was also a foul before that resulted in being on the floor.
it was, but that didn't get called. So therefore, in the officials' eyes, that wasn't a foul. So in other words, they either deep down know that they should have called a foul for Damar and let the other bit kind of slide a little bit, or they just let Damar get away with it.
Yeah, there was a few iffy decisions on them, to be fair, but anyway, we got the win.
Season. We'll take the dub.
Yeah, my play of the game actually, I think it come in the fourth, and P. Will had it in the corner, and it looked like we were going to just basically wear the clock down and not have a clue what was happening. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Ayo straight through a gap.
Yeah.
And, a really good play from Ayo, I thought.
It was a
really
great
from
cut.
P. Will to notice that he was cutting.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it was good.
I mean, there was a few highlights from Kobe, as usual, and Caruso got his breakaway, and there's the Julian Phillips one again, where obviously somehow come up with the ball. I think it was Ayo dives on the floor, threw it out to Kobe, and by that point, Phillips was gone, and we get acrobatics and aerobatics and all sorts, don't we? So there were some highlights. So
yeah, there were.
Before we go on to the next segment, then I will send it to the ad read. Our partners at USA Sports. USA Sports is a UK-based sports merchandise retailer. They cover the NBA, NHL, NFL, MLB, as well as Formula One. From hats to hoodies, there's something for everyone. From Chicago Bulls to Team Red Bull and everywhere in between. So check them out on all the socials and at usasports.co.uk. And whilst there, check out their various discount codes to receive up to 15% off. So, next part, and could be a bit interesting, could annoy a few people. I know it's annoyed me a lot, seeing some of the stuff. Obviously, we didn't have Zach playing last night as expected. And then pretty much straight after the game, we get the news that he's going to be out for another 3 to 4 weeks with this inflammation of his this right foot soreness, whatever it is. And obviously, it sent everybody all over the place. Bulls Nation's got pretty toxic on Twitter and stuff like that. And I mean, that, as you've got going across the bottom there, will we ever see Zach in a Bulls jersey again? And that was kind of where I was going to go with it. And over to you.
Yeah, I guess, look, Bulls Nation is a wonderful, wonderful place, but it's also a very excitable place, right?
Reactionary as well.
Very, very reactionary. And this latest news is, like you say, sent it spiraling in people saying, oh, that's it, Zach is done, and people kind of turning on Zach a bit. And like, I was the very one a couple of weeks back before Zach had come out and said he wanted the trade that was sitting here on this pod saying, I'm done with Zach. I'm done with Zach Lavine. But at the same time, I also said, I'm not done with him as a person. I'm not done with him for what he's done for the Bulls. I'm just done with him going forward with this team. And that's what people have to kind of remember. Zach gave his all for this club. He gave his all for this organization. When there was nothing around him, Zach still kept coming, still kept trying his best to win. And you have to remember that. And he's given a lot to the community of Chicago. He's always been a professional. He's always been pleasant in the media to people. And when, media professionals are wanting to talk to him, he's always happy to sit down and talk to them, apart from one occasion when he pushes people out of the way. But I think, and we talked about this, we touched on this a little bit last time, Zach is becoming a bit of a scapegoat right now. And I don't want it to sour. I don't want Zach leaving Chicago to become an ugly affair. And it's unfortunately beginning to look like that could become the case. So I just want to go on record now to say that, it definitely looks like Zach's walking at some point in the near future. We may never get to see him do his thing on the court again in a Bulls jersey. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. But at the moment, it's looking less likely, depending on how quickly they get a trade and make something happen. But I would just like to say that I've appreciated everything that Zach has done for this organization and the entertainment that he's brought for us. And if we do find that we don't get to see him play for us ever again, thanks for what you've done. Appreciate you took it as far as you could. I think it's time for something new for both the Bulls and for Zach. But I really hope it's a happy parting of ways and it doesn't sour like it did with, say, like Derrick Rose.
Yeah. And look, like you said, we've said it before. We don't want this to sour, but obviously it's starting to. And like I say, it has led to Bulls Nation becoming very toxic with each other and things been said and stuff like that. And look, first of all, on Zach, yeah, loved everything he's done. He's probably up there as top 15, 20 Bull of all time.
Yeah.
Maybe higher for some people if you actually sit down and work it out properly. And you can't fault Zach for what he has done in the previous 6 years that he's been here. He's had shocking front office to deal with, shocking coaches to deal with, shocking teammates to deal with. Some of the players that he's had, and he's basically carried this team on, or this organization on its back for so long. Yet, on the flip side of that, Zach's maybe been part of the problem at the same time. And this is where this sort of divide with Bulls Nation's coming at the minute. And yeah, we know what Zach is. And so does the rest of the NBA as well. That's the thing, they're not going to be signing him thinking he's going to be the star player unless it's someone like Pistons. And same as you, just want to, if it is the last time we ever see him in a Bulls jersey, thanks for everything he's done, and obviously we'll talk about it when it happens and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But what's the last image you're going to remember of Zach in a Bulls jersey?
Probably head down, which is awful.
That Jaylen Brown dunk.
Yeah.
For me, where Zach's not even looking.
No.
And that's where I can see why people are turning on him.
Yeah.
And this whole show that we're getting at the minute. I mean, is he injured? As bad as they're making out? I mean, he's done his media stuff today, hasn't he? And he said it's the Bulls medical team that have told him he's got to sit for that long. Where's that decision come from? Because Caruso's got a toe missing or whatever it is. he's still playing. Zach's played through God knows how many injuries in the past.
He has.
I mean, yeah, I'm not doubting there is some sort of an injury there. They're saying that he's had some sort of an injection, so he can't travel to San Antonio and blah, blah, blah. But somebody somewhere has taken a decision to leave him out.
Yeah.
And obviously it's led to people saying it's affecting his trade value. And this, again, is where it's getting very toxic. And, some people think that it is, some people think it's not. For me personally, I don't think it has, or it is. because, like I just said, the rest of the NBA already know what Zach is. They know what happens when a player wants to be out of an organisation. We've seen it time and time again with James Harden, yet there's still a market for him somehow. And so obviously the latest thing that's come out today from Shams is when Zach's due back in the middle of January, happens to be when the rest of the NBA is available for trade, i.e. Rui Hachimura and D'Angelo Russell. Get Zach to the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
So if that is in the pipeline, the Lakers already know what Zach is. They would clearly already want him.
Of course.
So our Bulls now just sitting him so that he doesn't get injured. He doesn't make this niggly little injury worse than it already is. So that come January the 15th, January the 16th, whatever day it is the trade goes through, Zach is good to go in a Lakers jersey.
Yeah.
And he won't be wearing number 8, but
no.
Yeah, and to be honest, I just want it all over and done with now.
Yeah.
And, I'm sick of going on Twitter and seeing the latest thing from him or the latest from Shams, whoever it is, and basically just the way that Bulls Nation is. You got people who've got quite a following on Twitter calling people out, saying that they're uneducated in their opinions, and then you've got other content creators saying that people are pretty much stupid because they don't share the same opinion, or they're just saying things because they want to be right or whatever. At the end of the day, we've all got opinions, and people's fandom goes, different levels.
Yeah.
So to me, what one person's opinion on Zach, just because it's not the same as yours, you don't need to call them stupid or uneducated or whatever on basketball, because they might not be as big a fan as you. They might not have the same insights as, they might not look at the game in the same way you do. Do you know what I mean? To me, there's none of that. I mean, obviously, like I say, we had it before about Drummond with, I'll say his name, Bradley, because people probably know who he is on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest Drummond fan I know. And obviously, he tagged us in some stat, whatever it was, that Drummond, some record that Drummond, I don't know, can't remember now. And we basically just said, we've got nothing against Drummond. We both love him.
Mm-hmm.
But how many of his offensive rebounds are coming from his own misses? And then other people chimed in, and obviously you and Bradley went back and forth a little bit.
Yeah.
But there was no name
Which I love, by the
calling.
way.
Yeah.
I love a bit of back and forth.
There was no name calling. You didn't call him stupid or uneducated. No. If he wants to look at the stats, that's fine. But as I said, we're not stat guys. I find it boring, and because like you said to him, a stat can make somebody look good, can make somebody look bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's
a stat out there for every argument.
Yeah. And as we've always said, we judge every player on the eye test.
Yeah.
And we kind of know when Drummond needs to sit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, he admitted he's got his rose-tinted glasses on when it comes to Drummond. And that was it. End of it. No,
exactly.
No name calling and no nothing. They didn't need to be. So, obviously, why this whole Zach thing splitting everybody, and it's got creators going at each other and people trying to be funny about it, and it's just, I just can't wait for it all to be over with. This is sort of off-season stuff, and
it really is. It does feel like the messing about you get in the thick of the off season, but it's not. It's slap bang at the start of the season and into the middle of the season, and yeah, I'm not enjoying it. It's too much of a distraction from the actual basketball, and the sooner it gets dealt with, the sooner this team can heal and move forward.
Yeah, and I'm obviously just going back to Zach. It's going to be the last sort of thing I say on it. Obviously, he has had his media thing, and he said he wanted to leave it till today so it didn't take the shine away from the team and the 3 wins and blah blah blah. But he knew that he knew about this decision before yesterday's game, that he was going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks. And obviously, just little bits that he's also said in it. I am still a part of this team and very committed. yeah, I've got a Bulls jersey on. I'm committed here. And for as long as I'll be here, I'll still support and love Chicago and go out there and play my heart out for those guys. That's never going to change. So obviously, it's very. He's probably been told what to say by Clutch. We know that.
Yeah.
He's not gonna say, yeah, I'm done. That's it. I'm done. It's what else he say? It's a team sport, a team game. We go through a lot of stuff together in that locker room. It's a group of guys that fight together. We travel all the way around the world together. Obviously, he said that he was annoyed by the constant trade rumors through the off season and all that sort of stuff as well. And it, there's going to be different stories and narratives, and there's going to be off the court stuff that's going to be dealt with. For me, as long as I'm here with a Bulls jersey on, I'm going to play as hard as I can for my teammates and continue to be the best player and teammate I can be. Simple as that. So he seemed to be trying to reiterate that point that if he's here, he's committed. And that's the Zach that we know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, like I say, he's not going to basically say, yeah, I'm out for 3 to 4 weeks. That's it. I'm done. Cheers. See you later. Because that's not good for business, is it?
Don't know. Worked out all right for Harden in the end, didn't it?
Well, yeah. So yeah, I don't know if you've got anything else on Zach. Like I said, I'm sick of talking about it, but
No, I'm done. I've said what I need to say about Zach, and we'll just hopefully watch this fizzle out until the day that he's moved, and then we can talk about it again.
yeah, I mean, like I say, I am not happy that he's sitting out, but I'm happy to see it so that we do get to move in a different direction, basically.
Yeah.
What direction that is still to be seen, but yeah. So, Windy City. Obviously, we like to finish off with a little bit of Windy City talk.
Mm-hmm.
They played the night of our last episode, didn't they, against
Yep.
Wisconsin Herd? Come out 123-96 winners. They did have Dalen Terry and Julian Phillips down with them. Terry, in particular, had a solid looking game.
Yeah.
We couldn't actually watch it here, even if we wanted to, because there was no coverage. Dalen Terry had 22 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, and he was 4 of 6 from the 3-point line. Julian Phillips, 16 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and he was 3 of 4 from 3-point line. And Adama Sanogo, 20 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. So, yeah, good to get the win. Good to see Terry and Phillips down there.
Yeah.
Good to see Sanogo still just dominating, basically. Like I say, we didn't watch the game. I've seen the highlights and little clips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And from what I saw, Dalen Terry looked good. Maybe he needs a longer run down there rather than getting 3 minutes or whatever he did yesterday and then sitting the next however. Obviously, we have got Spurs tomorrow, and then Windy City have got a game Saturday night and Sunday night. So they've got Wisconsin. I don't know if that's in Wisconsin or Chicago. Can't remember now. And then Sunday they've got Motor City Cruise, obviously Pistons affiliate. That is in Chicago. That one. And they're both 11 o'clock tips. Again, the Wisconsin one, no coverage. Motor City, we will have coverage via the G League app. And I'm not even going to attempt to say his name, but Motor City have got the UK guy.
Go on, give it a crack. Give it a go.
I haven't got it in front of me, so I couldn't even. Two one one.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
There's a V in there somewhere too, I think, isn't there?
Yeah. Good old Geordie. I know he's a Geordie, so yeah, he's obviously on the two-way with Pistons and Motor City. So for UK fans, chance to see some UK players or a UK player.
Yeah.
Don't know if you've got anything on.
The Herd game is actually in the Now Arena, so it's in Windy Cities.
Fair enough. There you go. Yeah, don't know if you've got anything on that game. I know you didn't watch it either.
No, I wish we could watch more. It's not through the want of not trying to watch the games. It's just they're not available to us, which is a pity. Hopefully, that's something that kind of moves forward as the G League continues to grow.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the fact we get any sort of coverage is a bonus, really.
It is.
Obviously, one thing that we did sort of notice, and I've actually found an answer today, is where's OB been on off fitting? Because he was called up. Was it the Bucks game he got called up for last week? And then he wasn't at the Pelicans game, but then he was on the box score as DMP, wasn't he, for Windy City?
Yeah.
But there was no report anywhere that we could find, and I found one. He's been suffering with an illness, so hopefully he's back this weekend and we get to see a bit of him. So yeah, predictions. Now, we're not 100% sure when we're recording next because Monday, Tuesdays are back-to-back, innit?
Yeah.
Or Tuesday, Wednesday, as it will be for us. Obviously, Spurs tomorrow night. We've already given our predictions for that. Mine hasn't changed. I doubt yours has.
No, same
Still
as.
Bulls win 4 games.
Yeah, I'm still going to go Bulls win. Yeah,
Wemby cooks Vooch.
Pretty much.
Yeah. My guy, Keldon Johnson, will be out there. The one thing I will say is Spurs are on a 15-game losing streak.
Yeah, it's got to snap somewhere, doesn't it?
Yeah. So there's that little bit of negativity that you can. That little. It's just.
Yeah.
Can't say that. Someone might be offended. That little dent in the armour.
Moving on. Yes.
a little dent in the armour. That we obviously Bulls last season were streak breakers, weren't they? Let's hope that we're not this time.
Yeah.
Because yeah. Then Monday night we've got Bucks.
Yes.
I think is it in Milwaukee? I can't remember now. No, it might be at home.
It is. I can't find it. You talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, I've done the game day graphics, so I should know. But
yeah, my NBA is stalled for some reason, so I'm trying to get it through the Bulls app, and it doesn't say.
Yeah, I think it's actually at the UC, to be honest. Anyway, regardless.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I said before, they're going to be. Oh no, it's in Milwaukee actually. They're going to be out for revenge, aren't they?
Of course.
Know that. And I think it's like I said in one of the chats before. It's time to get back to reality over this positivity. Yeah, we beat Bucks last week with this lineup, but we know what this Bulls team is. So I'm gonna say we lose it.
Okay.
I don't think it's gonna be a blowout, but I just think Giannis is just gonna want revenge. We've seen what happens before when we beat Bucks. Giannis comes out and absolutely destroys us, and with the assistance of the refs. Just saying.
Standard.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, I was just gonna say, what's your prediction?
Yeah, I if I give my honest prediction is that we beat the Spurs and we lose to the Bucks. But just to keep things colourful, I'm going to say that we extend it to a 5-game winning streak before we fall off the cliff.
Fair enough. Well, on the second of a back-to-back, after that Bucks game, we are back at the UC to face reigning champions, Denver Nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
What are you saying for that one?
Absolutely smashed. That's what I'm saying for that. I just don't think we have it in us. Joker's going to absolutely kill Vooch. So I don't think we have what we need to take it past the Nuggets unless they have an incredibly bad off game, and we happen to have a good game.
Yeah, I'm saying an L. So win, and then 2 L's for me these next 3 games. Hope I'm wrong. I might change my mind before the game. I don't know, but that's how I'm saying it for now.
Right.
Because then at the end of the week, we've got back-to-back games against Heat. Or not back-to-back, there's a day in between, but yeah. Down in Miami. So we could do a win in at least one of them.
Yeah, but I'm going to withstand saying anything about those 2 games until I see how the next 2 or 3 pan out.
Yeah. So I've got nothing else. Don't know if you have.
Not a thing.
Right. Well, like I say, not 100% sure when we'll be back yet. It will be some point next week now, obviously. But as usual, thanks for listening. And if you are on the audio, don't forget to head over to YouTube, leave us some comments. And until next time, as always, I've been Matt, and you can find me on Twitter at MattCRedUK, and you can find us on all the socials at CRedUK.
And you can find me on Twitter at NeilCRedUK on behalf of both Matt and myself. And the Fans First Sports Network. Thanks once again to everyone for tuning in. Whether you're watching or listening, please do subscribe, rate and review, and give us a thumbs up on YouTube. It helps us to keep providing you with this content. From us both, do remember it's a Chicago Bulls thing wherever in the world you are supporting this team. And until next time, see red people and go Bulls.